Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm back here at Crown Eurocars in Pinellas Park, and guess what? I have a truck that is just flat out ridiculous. And I bet you I haven't seen this truck. I'm sure that you haven't seen this type of truck. What am I talking about? I'm talking about this big bad mamma jamma. This is a Ford F-350. But it's unlike any other F-350 you've ever seen. This is an F-350 known as the Sintor. But before we get into this mega size, mega modified truck, let's talk about what's going on here. So Ford F-350 Super Duties are pretty large and in charge trucks. But there's people out there, there's companies out there that want to take it to the next level. Now I remember when I was a kid, especially when we first moved to Tampa, Florida, back in the 80s, my dad used to take me to the stadium that no longer exists. It was called the Big Sombrero, and we used to watch the monster trucks. And of course, Bigfoot was just one of those vehicles that every kid in the 80s wanted to get behind the wheel of. Well, guess what? I guess this is a little bit of a childhood dream come true, because even though I'm more known for going on throttle in sports cars and other performance cars, I'm kind of excited to see how this beast of a Sintor handles the road. But one thing I want to find out is, if you're looking for that just outrageous when it comes to style, when it comes to engineering in a truck, is this one the king of them all? Let's go ahead. Let's dive into ours and find out. Right off the bat, it starts off life as an F-350. And this F-350, as you can see, is in carbonized gray. That's one of my favorite colors. Now, Sintor starts right away with making changes. We have these extra wide fenders. And I'm not just talking about a fender flare. I'm talking about the whole fender is custom. And these are carbon fiber pieces. So you're actually going to see carbon fiber bodywork, not just stick on carbon fiber accents. I'm talking about carbon fiber bodywork on this beast. You'll also notice a very generous usage of rigid LED lighting. You got your fender marker lights. On the interior, you have these Morimoto LED headlights. They're from a 2020 Ford truck. Full LED, bright white LED daytime running lamp. You got your vertical stack of LED headlights. One of the zonks, I got to zonk the Sintor right away, fake vent. It would have been nice to make this functional or put even more lighting. Since we're talking about lighting, you are going to have more of these rigid Industries driving lights. Stamped steel bumper from Sintor, all color matched in carbonized gray. And then as we come across the front grille, of course you're going to have the Super Duty name stamped like any other Super Duty, but we have a custom grille, nice flat black finish with the Sintor badge in the center. You're going to need a forward-facing camera, I promise you that. LED lighting built in to that nice flat black grille. And then working our way to the center, look at how we got the Sintor name kind of embossed there. You're going to have this Factor 55 winch. Love the way it's all built in nicely into that front bumper. And then as we work our way down, you got more ground clearance on this thing than any other truck I've seen. Love the way they cut right into the stamped steel bumper, the Sintor name. Everything has been upgraded and it's been done right. I'm actually going to have Steven follow me in. You're going to get King suspension stabilizer bars. So those are your stabilizer bars for the steering. Look at our suspension. The Fox racing shocks, springs, everything has been modified properly to make this be that mega size beast that you're looking at. Now up on the hood, because of the width, you gotta have those DOT required LED lights like you find on a Raptor. You got carbon fiber hood scoop. Love the way That carbon fiber balances nicely with the carbonized gray. But from the front, this thing is one mean, lean muscle truck machine. Even up top on the roof, how you have your auxiliary LED lights. This thing coming down the road at night must look like the USS Enterprise. And people are gonna be like, beam me up, Scotty. What the heck is this thing? Now, as we go wide, you're gonna go super wide, we have tires that are just downright ridiculous. First of all, we got 20-inch wheels, B-lock wheels. Look how freaking heavy duty these wheels are. Love the carbonized gray painted in the center. And these are wheels produced by Sintor. So they produce their own wheels. I like the way they produce a lot of their own parts. 47-inch tires. Your next door neighbor is excited because he got a Raptor R and he's like, my truck is better than yours because I got 37-inch tires. Well, guess what? If I move in next to you guys, your neighbor ain't gonna be able to measure up at all in more ways than one, and especially in these tires. 47-inch Goodyear multi-terrain tires. Tire width is 395, so very wide tire, and that's an 85 series sidewall. Unbelievable. Brakes have been increased, of course, because to stop this beast, you better have some bigger brakes. And then I'm gonna have Steven kind of swing around and, like I said, showing you the controlling arms, the trailing arms, all of that work that Sintor has done to the suspension. You can even change your oil standing up on this thing. Just really out of this world. Now, another zonk that I have is I don't mind this with the Sintor badge, but I mind that it's not functional. Come on, Sintor. You've done all this other stuff. Would like to see that functional. You got your carbonized gray on your mirror caps, obviously 360-degree cameras. Another thing is I love the way this has the automatic dropping running boards and not some stationary running board that would just make it look silly. From the side, I probably look pretty silly because this truck is just ginormous. Coming towards the rear, you'll notice our trailing arms, everything beefed up. It actually has the rear suspension off a F-450 to help with durability, to help with rotating this mass. I mean, I don't think you're really picking up when I'm putting down that these tires are the tires that they use in the world's strongest man competition, which Steven is going to be entering. That's how heavy these things are. So you have a lot of mass. To do that properly, you need to have a beefy rear end, and that's why they actually upgrade to the 450 rear end. I'm gonna have Steven kind of swing around and show you the Fox suspension out back. I do like the way they did the tail stripe on the bed of the truck with the Sintor name. And then coming around back, same thing like up front. I mean, you have so much ground clearance, it's ridiculous. You got carbon fiber nicely put in the tailgate with that Sintor badge. You actually get a tattoo when you buy one of these from Sintor. You actually get that on your chest. And yes, if you have some hair there, they're gonna have to shave it. Love the lighting they did in their Sintor stamped steel rear bumper, the rigid lighting. Everything just so well put together. And if you need a tow, this thing's gonna tow. You could actually tow a house right off its foundation with it. Now, as we work our way down, Steven's gonna zoom in, show you that massive pumpkin. No, it's not Halloween, that's the rear diff. And then up top, actually, Steven, come from this side, because I think it's gonna really allow you to show that Sintor name. You have a Sintor custom catback. Actually, it's turbo back exhaust, because remember, we have that turbo diesel underneath the hood. Look how large, that's a 5, that's not a 5, that's like a 10-inch opening. That thing is ridiculous. Steven actually wants to put it, see if his head will fit in that when we're done filming, but absolutely just nuts. Let's see if this is unlocked. Yes, nice soft release, and you still got all the truck things. You want to do truck things? You still got your full bed here with your Rhino liner. You got, of course, all your hookups, easily accessible, LED lighting, and I think the tonneau cover is a very, very smart move. But why don't we go ahead, let's pop the hood and see if Steven could show you the engine that's powering this monster truck. All right, guys, Steven didn't want to do it. I actually went out and got him stilts for this part of the segment of the review. He doesn't want to wear them, so Steven's going to try his best to show off what's underneath the hood. It is that familiar 6.7 liter Power Stroke. That's that turbo diesel V8. Sintor bumps up the torque. So 935 pound-feet of torque can become over 1,000 pound-feet of torque. It is mated to a 10-speed automatic transmission, and of course has all the other goodies. They add a Sintor intake system, a 5-inch downpipe, and this thing is running 488 gears. You got the coilovers, the tie rods, the King steering stabilizer, and those extra large disc brakes. But why don't we go ahead, looking at this thing is one challenge just because of how large it is. Why don't we go ahead, let's fire it up and hear what it sounds like. All right, guys, we got to do this one a little differently just because of the sheer size and height of this truck. So I know you're probably saying to yourself, well, Joe, this truck is ridiculous. But you know what? I want one. I'm going to cash in my 401k so that I could drive around in this. How much is it? So this is based on a 2022 F-350. So you have the cost of the truck, and then the build itself was around $150,000. So asking price on this vehicle is right around $169,000. Like I said, we got to modify how we do this a little bit because Steven is literally perched like a songbird on that running board. So instead of going to the door panels, which are totally stock, we're going to do this to the dash. Stock material. That is the zonk. There's a lot of stock pieces. Now the good news is you're still going to get your Twinkie tray, or you could put 2 Renaissance turkey legs in here, but it's all stock. They did the outside. Why didn't they do the inside? The good news is you got your 12 volt, you got your home power source, you got that nice large 12-inch infotainment system, and then we do have cameras out the yin-yang, which you're going to want with this vehicle. I promise you that. Your knob to go 2 high, 4 low. All the good knobs for your audio controls, your AC. You got dual climate, heated seats, ventilated seats. Carbon fiber on the cover here, which is nice. This has been added. Open it up. You got wireless charging, a USB-C and a USB-A. The other piece that's nice that they added is the carbon fiber on the shifter. This is for the 10-speed automatic. But everything else is stock in here, which is sad. 2 cup holders. You got your Slim Jim holder, same soft material, stock. Open it up, you got enough room in here. You could put, I would say, whoa, things are happening. I would say, I know I haven't said that before, you could put probably about a 5-gallon little drum in here of Rocky Mountain oysters. I mean, if you're driving a truck like this, you should be brave enough for those Rocky Mountain oysters. And bring some for your friends. Challenge them. Seats, they're nice, but they're not like Sintor nice. So that's the problem. Power assist for the passenger, power assist for the driver. You do have a panoramic sunroof, let me prove it, with the power shade. And then we got tons of auxiliary switches, but it's just kind of sad how everything is stock in here. But why don't you come over here to the business end? I'll show you what's going on in this Sintor. All right, guys, business time. Of course, we got those big flared fenders on the truck, on the bed of this truck. I feel like I'm sitting in a tree and Steven's all the way down the ground. I'm 6 feet tall, plenty of room. You do have your power seat controls, but like I said, everything is stock, which is definitely making me sad. Steering wheel, it's a Ford steering wheel, so boring horn button. You do have leather all the way around. It is a power tilting and telescoping wheel. And then you got your dash, which has that large digital gauge cluster center. And then you do have the analog gauges as well, but it's easy to get all the information that you want. And we have, of course, that 10-speed automatic. Not going to show you the back seat because guess what? It's all stock, which makes me sad. But what I'm going to do is, if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go for a little spin in this big Sintor. All right, guys, we are on the top of Mount Everest of trucks. Never have we ever featured a truck on Rady's Rides this large. So nice to be able to bring you something so unique that you're just not gonna see on a lot of other channels. Now, when it comes to driving this thing, it's actually not that difficult because of all the work that's been done to the suspension, the brakes, the gearing. Everything has been done not only to optimize the performance of the truck, but to also make it easy to get about your business. Love the fact that it's got a train horn and that the button is nicely hidden on the bottom part of the dash. I just wish, like I said, they would have done a little bit something extra to the interior besides 2 pieces of carbon fiber. It's nice, but I need a little bit more. But overall, like I said, the drivability of this truck is amazing. And we're gonna go on throttle once you're ready, because I'm ready. On throttle, here we go. Smooth shifts from the 10-speed. Yes, you're gonna get a ton of road noise because those tires are absolutely out of control on the tread. So you're gonna get a bunch. That person didn't see us. That person's gonna get run over. No, but that's something that's gonna be expected, is the amount of road noise because of the custom intake, because of the custom downpipe and exhaust. You are getting a little bit more of that good diesel sound. Looking out over that aircraft carrier size hood, you see the carbon fiber bulge. Just gives it that little extra oomph. And visibility, as to be expected, is really, really good in this vehicle because you are sitting so high. Love looking in the mirrors and seeing those massive flared fenders in the bed. That whole bed is custom. And like I said, it's just, it isn't that challenging to keep in the lane. I thought it was gonna be just, I'm gonna have to use 2 lanes, but no, you don't in this truck. You got all the amenities, the heated seats, the ventilated seats. We got our infotainment system. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, all those goodies. So I guess this is, if you really just want to drive a daily driver monster truck, this would be a good choice. Love the way that Ford has the information. It's very easy to figure out and read. So I can understand why they didn't really mess with that. But like I said, just some extra special touches. Maybe even like the seats. Give me some high quality leather in here. And I think that just would have been the cherry on top. But we're gonna make a U-turn and see how that goes once this traffic. You definitely want to choose wisely with this truck when you go to pull out into traffic, because it takes some work to get it to move. That's for sure. But getting to the infotainment system, well within reach. We got the B&O sound system, and then you got tons of storage in here. Let's see if we can make this happen. Here we go, on throttle. Yeehaw, we did it. But going down the road, it's very comfy, it's just very noisy. But that's to be expected with this thing. But I'm hoping that this has been a good, outrageous review of this Sintor. We're gonna get back to Crown Eurocars and wrap this one up. So I'll see you in a monster truck minute. All right, guys. It's one of those days where you're just like, you wake up and you don't expect to be getting behind the wheel of something like this. Definitely got to thank Michael and the whole crew at Crown Eurocars for getting us access to this Sintor. It's a Ford F-350 with Bigfoot steroids. That's the only way I could put it. But let me know what you think. When it comes to just outrageous trucks, is this the king? Let me know in the comment section. But if you're new to the channel, you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, think you're being part of the Raised Red family, gotta give it up to Stephen Flood. He didn't want to wear the stilts, but he still made it happen. So thank you, Stephen, for accepting the challenge. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.